Let's try and figure out why you can't touch your toes despite the very real possibility that you should be able to. You may absolutely be someone who's never felt like they can actually touch their toes, which may make you feel like you are someone who just shouldn't be able to touch their toes. But technically we can't confirm that officially until we go hunting around for a lot of the common reasons why people can't touch their toes, improve those, and see what, if anything, is left over. And no, we're not just going to go through some standard hamstring stretches and hope for the best. We're actually going to go through 4 different reasons that I find clinically that naturally make it harder for people to touch their toes. So if you currently can't touch your toes but want to see if you can eventually, let's see if we can figure out what's been going wrong. G'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Grant Frost and I'm an Australian musculoskeletal physiotherapist who's really passionate about trying to figure out the root underlying causes of all the common aches, pains, injuries and dysfunctions that I see day to day as a physio. And perhaps one of the most common things that I see a lot of people deal with day to day is just the inability to be able to bend down and touch their toes. But more importantly, so many people feel like they've never really been able to touch their toes for as long as they can remember, so therefore feel like it's just something that they're not supposed to be able to do. But we know that human physiology across the board should have enough slack in the system that allows you to get down and touch your toes. Whether you currently can or not is a different story, but that capacity is there for everyone for the most part. And based on what I do find clinically as a physio, there's often a whole bunch of hidden dysfunctions that we accrue behind the scenes, more commonly from this modern world that we've created for ourselves, that can express themselves in such a way where the net result is that we lose the ability to just get down and touch our toes. And before we go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what it is that's holding you back from being able to touch your toes, we first need to establish a very clear baseline of how good you are now, so that once you've done each of these exercises, you can come back and immediately do the same thing again to see if anything has genuinely changed. We need to be results-based. We shouldn't have to guess. By the end of this video, you should have a very good understanding of which one, if not all 4 of these things that we're going to go through, is the biggest handbrake to you being able to bend over and touch your toes. Now, for me, I want to do this in real time. I've woken up recently and felt a little bit tighter getting down to the ground than I normally would. So we'll use me as a real-time example to try and figure out what it is about my lower half that's stopping this from feeling the way that it normally does for me. So officially what we want to do first is try and repeat the same thing each time. Stand up comfortably tall with your feet shoulder width apart, and naturally just bend forwards as far as you feel comfortable. Now for me, I can typically quite easily get my fingers to touch the ground. Generally, I can get my palms flat on the ground, but today, just as I touch my palms to the ground, I can feel quite a bit of tightness down through the back of my leg. I don't feel much through my back. It's all kind of in this area, and it feels a lot more aggressive than it normally would. Now I'm going to screenshot this position. I'm going to come back to this after every single exercise that we do to again learn in real time what might be holding me back, just so you can see what these exercises are doing for me. Also, my eye looks a little bit weird. I've got a swollen tear duct. Don't worry about it. More importantly, let's get to the first exercise and let's see if some of the fascia underneath your heel is one of the limiting factors. So once you've established your baseline, you know exactly how it feels and how far you can go, I'll ask you to grab a ball. What we're going to do is we're going to place the ball on the ground and we're going to put your heel on top of it. And all we're going to do is with your toes on the ground, we're just going to go hunting around the back side of that heel, kind of where your plantar fascia attaches into the front side of that heel. But anywhere around here, we're looking for anything that feels tender, thick, tight, or restricted. Now, this might seem like a weird place to start because after all, bending forward to touch your toes shouldn't include your heel, right? But anatomically and mechanically, there's all these fascial trains and fascial lines that run up and down your body, one of which connects underneath this heel. And what we find, and sometimes it seems a little bit of a magic trick, is if you have accrued some thickness and tightness under this heel, it can pull a bit of slack out of the system and just make it harder for you to reach the ground from underneath. So if you can spend 30 seconds or a minute just working through these tight spots, anything that you feel, you can gently put some pressure through it, try and grind your way through it. Make sure you come towards the inside of that heel, also the outer side of that heel. Don't miss anything. See what you can find. Change sides. Do the same thing again. Spend a little bit of time just trying to sort of grind away. For me, this right side maybe feels a fraction tighter, a little bit more tender. Obviously, you would spend more time doing this, but then once you feel like you've captured it enough and you've freed things up a little bit, then get rid of the ball and then immediately reassess the exact same position again. And for me, I feel like I can immediately get my palms down a little bit lower. And I also feel I can bend my elbows a little bit more as well. And if you can look at the screenshot difference between those 2 positions, positions, you should see that there's a genuine change there straight away. Because all I've done is, in a closed system where the screws have been tightened and the slack pulled out of the system, being thick, tight and restricted under your heels can genuinely stop somebody from reaching their full potential of being able to bend down to the ground. And again, if you've never been able to touch your toes, or you don't feel like that's something that you should be able to access, give it a go, then let me know in the comments down below if anything magically changed in that short space of time. Because from here, the next place we want to go looking for is any hidden restrictions through your lower back that again might be pulling a bunch of slack out of the system from above in the same way that that heel may have as well. So once you've explored any hidden connection between tightness underneath your heel and your inability to bend over and touch your toes, we then can use that same ball or a foam roller to go looking for any hidden restrictions from the base of your rib cage down. As I mentioned, tightness in this area can basically pull a bunch of slack out of this closed system from above. It can make a lot of the musculature, including your hamstrings, quads, calves, tighter than they should be. But it can also pull a lot of neural slack out of the system, especially down through that sciatic nerve as it leaves these areas, passes through your glutes and goes down the back of your leg. So again, in the spirit of being results-based, let's see if this is one of those hidden handbrakes that you may not have realized was holding you back. So for me, I'm going to use the foam roller this time just to make it obvious. I'm going to start with the foam roller right down the base of my spine, just above my pelvis. I'm going to lie down on top of that, and we can do this in a few ways. I would like to have my shoulders down on the ground just so that I can move this foam roller up or down to go looking for anything that feels restricted. We need to slightly roll to the left to bias the joints down the left-hand side. We also need to slightly roll to the right to do the same thing on the right, so we can compare which side you feel is stiffer and more tight, because that's the side that we want to focus on. For me, naturally, my left-hand side is typically tighter than my right. So from here, I'm just going to find a spot. We're not going to roll. We're going to have constant pressure through the spine. You can gently drop your hips down just to tension things up on the other side. But I'm just going to stay here just off to the left for a minute or two. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths just to get this tissue to relax, get the soft tissue to give, get the joints underneath to start to mobilize. Once I've had enough of that, I'm just going to systematically move the roller up a little bit, and then up a little bit more, and up a little bit more, just to go hunting through each individual section, just to find which parts of my spine feel like they are restricting me more than I would like them to. We want you to feel relaxed. We want the roller to gently sink into these tissues and encourage them to give, because we need this spine to feel looser to then see whether that looser spinal function contributes to you being able to touch your toes easier. I'm going to work up a little bit higher. I'm going to go straight to where I kind of generally feel a little bit tight. I need to roll a little bit more to my left side here just to bias that. A couple of slow deep breaths just to get everything to free up. And then as promised, once you've done that, immediately stand up again. I'm going to go through the same thing again, although this time the mat's in the way. I'm going to bend down again as far as I feel comfortable. I can get my fingers down easy, I can get my palms down easy, and then this time I feel like I can start to bend and hinge a little bit further than I could before. I feel like my chest is probably getting a little bit closer to my knees here. I feel like there's even more bend into my elbows than what there was before. But again, give that a go yourself and see what impact that genuinely has on your ability to bend forwards. Because again, if your back's been stiff for a long time and you never realized, you may not necessarily be able to touch your toes because there's not enough slack in the system to allow you to do that. And not only is hamstring tightness typically a hidden cause of why someone can't touch their toes, before we get to that, we want to actually see whether there's neural tension in the system that's also holding you back. One of the big misconceptions when trying to do something like bending down to touch your toes or even stretching out your hamstrings is this feeling of tightness through the back of your leg, but more specifically tightness at the back of your knee. If you are someone who has ever stretched tight hamstrings or ever just bent forward to do something lower down and you felt tightness at the back of your knee, that is not hamstring muscle tightness, it's increased neural tension. That sciatic nerve is tighter than it should be. Just know that your nervous system isn't like a muscle that stretches, it works more in tension and slack. If you think of your nervous system, more specifically that sciatic nerve, as just a steel piece of string or a steel cable that runs down the back of your leg, if you can pull a bunch of slack out of it from the top where your spine gets a little bit tight, maybe you can pull a bit of slack out of it from underneath through that fascia underneath your heel, or anything sort of throughout the system at the back of your leg that's also tight, might also just pull out some of the slack in the system, which means that when you bend forward and tension that up, you feel this line of tightness down the back of your leg. No amount of hamstring stretching will cure that, but nerve flossing exercises can. And one of the best nerve flossing exercises I've ever seen is a really simple exercise called an elephant walk. And all you need essentially is a chair or something to start with, just to make it easy on yourself. But we just want you to lean forwards comfortably. You can do this leaning on a bench or a table. I'm going to do this here. Just bend down as far as you feel comfortable until you find some of that tension down the back of your leg, which again is that sciatic nerve neural tension. And all I want you to do here is just bend down or shift your hips back enough until you find a genuine sense of tightness through the nerve at the back of your leg. And from here, all you need to do is just gently bend one knee as you straighten the other. And we just want to oscillate backwards and forwards through here, thinking of trying to gently push your hip into the side that's straightening. You can let your back rotate a little bit at the top if you want to. You can lift your heel up a little bit if you need to as well. But what we're looking for is we're trying to chase that tension through the back of the leg until you feel like it starts to give and mobilize. And we want to keep chasing that tension as far as you feel comfortable. So for me, because that's a little bit too easy for my current state, I'm going to bend down and touch the ground just to really wind the system up a little bit more. But again, I'm just going to work my way through this. We can do 10 or 15. Don't be scared to really sort of extend through that area. Just remember, it's not a stretch. We don't want you to stay here. The benefit of this exercise is the movement and the flossing technique of flossing this tight neural tissue through any of the musculoskeletal channels that it passes through. And then as you feel like it gets looser and looser, we want you to feel like you go down deeper and deeper just to capture any of that tightness, and keep going until you feel like you get sick of it or you've stopped making change. And then once again, once you've done that, we need to see what it does, if anything at all. So for me, trying to come back to this same position again, I'm going to be up nice and tall. I'm just going to bend forward as far as I feel comfortable. Hands touch the ground, palms touch the ground. There's no tension there this time. I'm going to drop down deeper or as far as I feel I can get. And again, I feel like I'm getting down lower than I could before. I definitely feel some tension in this position now, but in a weird way, if I just keep doing the elephant walk and flossing this free, I feel like I can get deeper and deeper and deeper than I could before. So again, please don't take my word for it. Test this out for yourself. Let me know in the comments down below what role, if any, the elephant walk and that increased neural tension had in your ability to reach down and touch your toes. And then once you've started to work on trying to free things up from underneath, free things up from the top, and then improve that neural gliding all the way through the system, we can then look at what role, if any, hamstring tightness is having on your ability to touch your toes. So technically now we've come to the part that I think a lot of people start at, where they recognize that hamstring muscle tightness could be one of the limiting factors for why you can't bend over and touch your toes. If you are someone who identifies as a person who has always had tight hamstrings and in a way imply that that's just how you are, please give all of this a go. You might actually be able to change your perspective on what's actually going on, but more importantly, what might be possible for you going forwards. Now, obviously, when you're trying to stretch tight hamstrings, there's 1,000 different ways you can do it. For me, I like things that are convenient and obviously effective. So for the purposes of this video, all I would ask you to do is, again, find a chair or a bench and just place your foot up on that bench, because we don't want to bias the nerve tissue. Don't have your leg fully straight. Just have a little bit of a bend in the knee just to introduce some neural slack into that system. Again, if we bend forward as we're about to in a second and you feel that tightness in the back of your knee, you may need to spend more time freeing up your back or doing the elephant walk to take away some of those mechanical handbrakes to just allow you to then target that hamstring better. But just pay attention to where you feel this. But how I'd like you to do this is just being up nice and tall, again, slight bend in your knee, keeping your back straight and hinging from your hip. All I want you to do is just hinge forward as far as you feel comfortable, looking for a healthy tightness right in the muscle belly, right in the middle of the back of your leg. Now, the days of just holding this position for 30 seconds and hoping that it does something are behind us. These days, wherever you feel tight, you need to actively find a way to tense that muscle. You can just ask that muscle to tense, or you can gently push your heel back into the surface that it's on to make that tightness work. Hold this for 5 to 10 seconds. The idea is that when you relax and let go, it creates a reflex in your brain and nervous system that physically allows that tissue to give, which means immediately you should feel that you can go further into the stretch than you could before you find that same level of tightness. And we just want to keep repeating that process. Give it all a squeeze. Hold it for 5 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds. Once you relax, it'll give, then you should be able to go a little bit further again. Take up that slack, give it another squeeze, 5 to 10 seconds, relax, let go as far as you feel comfortable. And then we want to repeat that on both sides, obviously. So again, up nice and tall, slight bend in the knee, come forward as far as you can. Again, I found that tightness. Give it a squeeze, relax, go further into it again. give it that squeeze. Relax, go further again, give it that squeeze. It might take a couple of goes for you to get a sense of how to do this, but like any of the things that we're doing here, if you've done anything, you should see an immediate difference in not only how far you went into that stretch, but if it's causing you havoc in terms of your ability to touch your toes, you should obviously see a difference once again. So for me, if I come back to the same position again, up nice and tall, I'm gonna bend down, I can touch the floor, I can get my heels down. I'm now trying to fold up as far as I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm going a lot further. I feel like I can almost start to think about what it looks like to get my elbows to touch the ground. But again, for me, I'm now running into more sort of hamstring tightness here with a little bit of neural tension. So obviously those are the areas that I might want to keep focusing on to try and get even further again if that was meaningful for me in any certain way. But obviously how this stuff affects me is unique to me. And obviously I would like to think that I'm coming from a pretty good base to start with. I've always been able to touch my toes. It's not one of those things that's been limiting for me. But as you can hopefully see, even as someone who can touch the ground, working on these things individually sort of shows you the layers that might be holding me back from just reaching whatever my full potential is as well. So please give each one of those exercises a go and then genuinely let us know in the comments down below which one of those 4 had the biggest impact, if any at all. We didn't necessarily go through any hip joint capsular stretches with a band. We haven't necessarily talked about core strength or trunk stability, which can also improve your ability to bend forwards. But more importantly, if you find that any one of those 4 exercises has a genuine impact on your flexibility, we also need to understand why are any of those issues there in the first place. And for me, clinically, one of the things that often binds a lot of these things together isn't the active, interesting things that you do. It's often the boring, stationary shapes and postures that you get into the most, which for most people looks something like sitting down doing something. So if you are someone who's trying to improve your flexibility to make it easy for you to get down and touch your toes, if you absolutely want to maintain that range and cultivate that range, not only do you have to practice that, but you might find that you absolutely have to spend a little bit of time thinking about how you spend your stationary moments. You get a little bit slouchy, which might then increase the load through your lower back, ask things to get tight. That tightness in your back prompts your hamstrings to get tight. It increases the neural tension down your legs and can pull a bunch of slack out of the fascia. It stands to reason that we might need to look at how you hold your back and position your back day to day for clues as to why we're even having these conversations in the first place. And if you feel like you're someone who's always had tight hamstrings or you've never been able to touch your toes, if you're also someone who maybe has never had great sitting habits, then again, you may have just found the underlying cause of why you've been a certain way for the entire time you've been that way. But more importantly, we don't know for sure whether things are just the way that you are or just the way you've evolved to be until you go through this process of pulling off those handbrakes and improving the shapes and positions and just seeing what's left over. So as always, I genuinely hope that that was helpful. Please let me know how you went with those exercises. If you'd like some help trying to figure out your flexibility or any other aches, pains or issues down the track, please consider booking in an online consultation with me. We can go through this sort of stuff in real time. But in the meantime, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, hit that hype button so this video gets out to more people. Feel free to share this video to someone who you feel might benefit from that. But at the end of the day, I do hope that that was helpful. I look forward to my eye clearing up and hope to see you soon.